All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the past video or the last video had you exporting your files from your automata, your front, top, and side pieces, and they should be all done, and you should know exactly what folder those are in. If you don't know what folder those are in, find that folder or create a new one and start from there. Do not move files from that folder in that format once you've got them in that folder, okay? Set them into a folder that you can name the file and find that file constantly, because otherwise it's going to corrupt things when it changes directories and paths, and it just gets a little messy. So please put everything in one folder for all of your Inventor stuff. So at this point in time, we don't need Fusion anymore. You close it. We're going to quit. Really? Still translating? Okay, you can still translate, but I've got all of my stuff that I need right there. I've got my front view, I've got my top view, and I got my side view. Okay, so that's all I need. Now to Inventor. You should have from the last video, it's pretty simple to get to the drawing screen. You just click drawing and it will bring you up with this window. We need to change this sheet. Right now that's an ANSI large. I think that's 36 by 24. We need a custom sheet size. So right click where it says sheet and select edit sheet. And we're going to call this laser cut under the name, and the size needs to be custom. The height needs to be 12 inches. The width needs to be 24 inches. And make sure that it is in landscape format, because that's the way our laser cutter is. Additionally, from here, we need to delete the border, delete, and we also need to delete the title block, because we don't need any of that stuff. Okay, come on, right click, delete, there we go, gone. So right now we have a blank sheet that is 12 inches by 24 inches. Okay, now we need to go ahead and place our first view. Okay, so click base, and it's going to ask what file you want. Okay, so we click this little icon, and then you find through your file explorer, like mine is just on the desktop. I stuck it right here as Automata JG21. And now we want to pick a part. So I'm going to pick the front side of it. Voila, there is my part. Okay, now I'm going to move it right on over here, but I need to make sure that my scale is 1:1, and I need to make sure that I'm not showing anything crazy. And view 1, and you'll notice that my text isn't there because I didn't put any engravement onto this one. Okay, I'll show you how to put your name on this in a minute. Click OK, and it turns like that. That's exactly what I want to see on this thing. Okay, now I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing with the side, only you know how you need two sides? Yeah, just click and drag that to wherever you want it. Make sure it's a 1:1. Click OK. And then since you want two of the exact same pieces, I'm just going to go ahead and say copy, and then right click and say paste and put it right there. Okay. Now, when you're placing these things, you want them to be fairly close together, and you want them to be just along the top or just along the bottom, okay? And then we've got our front pieces, or I'm sorry, the top. There we go. Double click it. But you see how if I put two of these here, it's going to be 1 and then 2, it's going to be hanging over. I don't want to do that. So if I click that button, it'll rotate the view, and I can drop it right there. Okay? I like it. 1:1. Goody. All right, now I'm going to right click that one. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to right click and paste it again. Now, when you're setting these things down, you want to make sure you've got some space between the edge and your where your item starts, okay? So if you think about this distance right here, this was roughly 1/4 of an inch. Make sure you're no closer than 1/4 of an inch to any side, okay? Now, here's where the magic is going to happen. we're going to come up over here, and we're first going to go ahead and say File, Save As, and you want to make sure that you are in your Automata folder, okay? And we're just going to call this Laser Cut Layout or Laser Cut and your initials or your company initials or something along those lines, okay? So the name should pop out right there, and that should tell me exactly what this is useful for. The only thing you would use this drawing for is laser cutting. You would not adapt this to give any dimension drawings. We are not going to leave any dimensions on this thing. So now I'm going to click Annotate here, and I'm going to come over here to Edit Layers, okay? It's going to pop up with a menu eventually. It runs a little slow when I'm screencasting. We want to come over here to the visible lines, and you want to click the color. Now, yours is probably not going to come up with this red right here. If you click the red, and then you click Define Custom Color, we need that color to be a 255-00. So 255 under red, 0 on green, 0 on blue. And you want to add that to your custom colors to make sure that it is the pure red. Because our laser cutter program interprets pure red as one operation, and then pure red at a line width of 0.001. That is 1/1000th of 1 inch. That tells it that it is supposed to do a cutting operation. Okay, so this is a custom color. It should be a continuous line. Click Save and Close, and all of our lines should turn red. If it turns red, that means it's going to cut all the way through. Okay, so if you put your initials in here or some emblem here and it turns red, you probably want to suppress that and then export that. Talk to me about that in a minute, okay, or call me over. I'll help you suppress that in your part file. Now, in order to put a text box here, okay, we need to be in this Annotate, and I'm just going to click and drag a text box right there, and it pops up with this menu. Okay, I'm just going to call this a demo box. Well, first off, I'm going to change my size of my letters, and I'm going to turn it to bold so it comes out better. And I'm just going to call it demo box. Okay, and then cancel. I don't like how that's looking. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I hit escape to get out of the text box, and now I'm going to adjust. Click on it to activate it, and I'm going to kind of finagle this thing so it's ish centered and ish looks decent. All right, and that's all we need to do on that. Okay, so now go ahead and click Save. All right, now what we need to do, what you need to do now is double check. You've got your front, you've got your side, and you've got your top. All of the parts that are in this drawing are in this folder, okay? You will need to upload your folder, the entire folder, all of the files, to the Google Drive that I specify, okay? If you leave out any of the files, I will not be able to open and laser cut your parts, okay? So if you only have 3 parts, great. There should be 3 part files, 3 of these .ipts, and then your drawing, this DWG. If you have 4 parts, then I need 4, okay? Whatever parts you put into here, if the name appears here in this browser over here, I need that part here. Upload the whole folder to the Google Drive. I will go ahead and download the whole folder, and I will open the part or the thing that I need. Because what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to come up here and click File, Print, and I'm going to select my laser, okay? And when I select my laser, I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to select this box. And you see how these lines all popped up red? That means that this thing, the laser, is going to actually cut through it, okay? It's called a vector operation. You see how these are black? That's a raster operation. That's a different power and intensity and speed of the laser. So this thing is going to spit out correctly. I'm able to see that right now, right here. You guys, since you don't have the drivers for it, you can't do that. So you're just going to have to upload all those folders to the Google Drive for me, so that way I can laser cut these ASAP. Once they're laser cut, you should be able to assemble them like they're a bunch of Legos. So hopefully you found this video to be helpful, and hopefully your box fits together nice and clean and does not require any kind of updates. So take care. As always, if you have any questions, let me know.